Good morning, friends. This is a video on Easy English by Teaching. So, welcome to the channel Easy English by Teaching. Friends, this channel is catering to the needs of providing quality material on all sorts of educational videos, which not only enhance the skill and knowledge of spoken and written English, but it also makes the people capable of using good communicative English, because now the present era is an era of global communication. So there is every possibility that this communication skill will be useful for everybody. This communication skill is useful all over the world. Everybody wants to enhance the communication, because in this corporate world, communication plays an important role, particularly for the those competitive aspirants who are looking forward to go for UPSC or state public service exams and Indian engineering service exam, or all sorts of banking exams. There are, not only the interviews and the written test demand good spoken and competent, verbal language. So verbal communication in English requires typically a number of things that we really provide in every video. Today in this video we are going to talk about how to develop comprehension ability. So comprehension is also known as reading test. Reading means not reading the text, it is reading test. It is the test of communicating the ideas through understanding and making the points clear about questionnaires which are based on passages. In every competitive exam, whether it is NDS, CDS, or in many other banking probationary or officers exam, two huge 400 500 words passages are given in English, and questions are typically on case studies, synonyms, test of synonyms, antonyms, and many other things. So reading ability develops right from the beginning of his schooling. The children, particularly when they are in class 8 and 9, they should be motivated to read text and understand the concept and the story, and they should rewrite the summary. Summarizing and comprehending a text is the best way of developing comprehension. But then when the exam comes, there is a mechanical method of comprehending a huge passage. So there are three important steps that everyone has to go through comprehending and diagnosing the given passage. The first one is known as scanning. Yeah, the first one is known as scanning. The second one is known as screening, and the third one is known as scheming. I repeat, scanning, then comes screening, and then comes scheming. But we can put it in this order. Screening comes first, scanning comes second, and scheming goes third. Now the question arises: what is the function of his screening? How does a person, or how does a candidate screen the passage? The first reading requires screening. But what is that? How to screen the concept and idea written in a passage? The best way to screen is to read the question first, not to read the passage. Read the question first and keep in mind that what are the questions, where exactly I have to strike the passage in first reading. Because once you read the question, you have almost 90% of the question in your mind that these are the questions. So the first reading, that is also called screening, will give you out of 10 5 questions answer. How? When you read the passage after reading the question, maybe that question number 1b is in passage number 3. You will strike out, you will comprehend, and you will immediately make it in mind before writing that now I will have to go for para 3 for question 1b. Similarly, question 2a you will have to go for para 4. In that manner, in the first reading, you will be able to locate the question in a specific paragraph. That is what we call screening. Then comes the second step, which is called scanning. As the word called scanning, it is a medical term. Scanning is a process of, photographically, making an image of the body organs. In the same way, scanning is the interpretation of the passage. So in the second reading, now after you have completed the first reading, you might have been able to answer some of the questions, or at least you will have been able to locate 5 or 3 questions out of 10. Now the second reading requires reading with interpretation. Now you will read a specific passage for a specific answer. You will not read the entire passage. In the first reading you have read the entire passage, but in the second reading you know now that you have 6 questions left out, and question number 3 is in paragraph 1. So you need not read paragraph 2. You read paragraph 1 for that specific question, and that way you go for scanning the answers of those remaining questions. After you have done scanning, now that remains scheming, जिसको हिंदी में मक्खन निकालना होता है दही से. तो दही से मक्खन निकालने पर हम लोग क्या करते हैं, दही को छोड़ देते हैं और मक्खन निकाल लेते हैं. उसी तरह से हम लोग जो स्कीमिंग करेंगे उसमें क्या है कि एक साथ 2 या 3 पैराग्राफ पढ़ना होगा और इंटरप्रेट करके कंबाइन करके आंसर देना होगा. ग्लोबल, दिस इज ऑल्सो नोन एज ग्लोबल कॉम्प्रिहेंशन. उसमें एक पैराग्राफ पढ़ने से आंसर नहीं मिलेगा. स्कीमिंग इज एक्सट्रैक्टिंग द global idea from the passage, which may require 1 or 2 or 3 passages together to be read out and comprehended. So that is the way how we go for comprehension. Screening, the first reading after reading the question. Second one is scanning, reading paragraph wise and question wise, that is also known as a specific question based reading. Third one is scheming, which is interpretation come reading. So that is how we can develop comprehension for competitive exam. For children of class 5 to 10 and 5 to 12, I would advise that they should always read the text and they should read the magazines. There are certain magazines which are very good for developing vocabulary and synonyms. For example, if you are reading in English, there is an illustrated weekly, or there is India Today in English. There are other magazines like Reader's Digest. When a child of class 6 reads Reader's Digest, he comes across a number of words and phrases which are very much useful in day to day. They are known as active vocabularies. Like you see, when you are reading a text, let us say Julius Caesar in class 10, that is prescribed in DPS Bocaro. So in Julius Caesar, what do we find? We find that there are words of archaic English, but they have greater meaning. So there is a line that gives us that conspiracy planted. The conspiracy was planted. A kind of plan, mischievous plan was planted against Caesar to murder him, and the conspirators made this plan very meticulously, very carefully. Now, when you read other texts, other stories of O. Henry, you will find that there are certain words, like when you go through the theme of the story, you will find that there are metaphorical expressions, the expressions which are indirectly compared, like you see, death lays her icy hands on one and all. Here, death has been compared as personified as a woman who puts her icy hands on everyone, rich or poor. That means death is just cruel and it kills everyone, irrespective of richness or poverty. So, death has been compared as a woman. So, it has been personified. Similarly, when we say that, let us, make a concise effort of this passage. Concise means brief, laconic, and let us make witty remark. That means intelligent remark. Wit means common sense. If a person makes a witty remarks, that means he is using intelligent words. Then, in many other words, you can say that gregarious, or you can say that gracious, one who is gracious, greedy, one who is voracious. Voracious means one who animals are voracious. They are hungry of eating other animals. Yeah. Then there are brutality, cruelty. Extreme cruelty is known as brutality. So when you are using words in डे टू डे स्पोकन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, आप अगर कोई वर्ड्स यूज करते हैं तो उसका सिनोनिम भी जानिए. जैसे आप किसी को कहना चाह रहे हैं कि ही इज फेयरली हैंडसम, तो आप इसको ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं, ही इज वेरी हैंडसम in appearance, or he looks quite smart and stunning. There is another word, stunning. His look is stunning. Instead of saying that he is handsome, you can say that he is handsomely beautiful. A woman is cute and pretty. You can say that she is beautiful beyond description. So there are certain phrases and words which we can often use in day-to-day spoken English. So I have given you the brief idea of comprehension, but for most of the students in schooling, it is advised that they should read books beyond text, like story books, like fictions. They should read a story of O. Henry. Even they can read plays of Shakespeare, or many other playwrights are there. When they read it, they will have a lot of words. They will interact with different words, and they will come across. Using words also requires a kind of technique. Like you always say that amidst many expressions, you have to pick the best one. So you have to be very choosy in picking the words. Like when you say somebody that he is lethargic in his approach, that means he is very lazy. Lethargic means lazy. And when you are using an antonym of lethargic, he is active, he is dynamic. A person who is active and dynamic is just opposite of lethargic. A one who lingers the work, एक दिन आज के बदले कल करे, जो काम को टालते जाता है उसको लेथार्जिक बोला जाता है. बट वन हु इज वेरी एक्टिव एंड प्रॉम्प्ट इन एक्शन, दैट ही इज नोन एज एक्टिवली taking something, we call it that he is dynamic. A person having a dynamic approach to anything is always successful. A person having a passive approach to anything, a negative approach to anything, cannot be all the time successful. He may have to navigate through challenges in life. So friends, English is such a language which requires everyday practice. Every day you have to come across certain words, small words, beautiful words. Like the case of a scam was investigated or probed. So probed means investigated. If there is a legal inquiry about something, we call it probe, P-R-O-B. The case was probed. In the similar case, if someone is wrongly accused, we call it victimized. If somebody is victimized, means somebody is accused unfairly. And if somebody is given a right judgment, we call it a clear verdict. In election, we get that a candidate wins with a clear mandate. We call it the verdict has gone totally in favor of the candidate. When a judgment comes with the consultation of 3 to 4 judges together, we call it verdict. So there are certain beautiful words we come across in day-to-day spoken English. So friends, we should use them because language especially uh, bridges the gap between your personality and the interpersonal relationship. Interpersonal relationship gets enhanced with a better communication and a better speech. Thank you. Have a nice evening. For all of the viewers of Easy English by Edising, please like and subscribe. Thank you.